friends to Occultists Anonymous and our Mage the Awakening Chronicle Into the West. It has, been a minute for y'all and for us. Scheduling is literally the biggest, toughest boss of any TTRPG, but we make it work. Thank you all for those who like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, reblog, retweet. Put us in your top 8. If top 8 means anything to you, sorry about your knees. Yeah. And a special shout out to our patrons: 1D4 Con James, Adele, Alis, Alexander, Alsred, Alu, Bernie, Chris, Doc, Emil, Jeff, George, Cat Feathers, Klaus, Meteor V Bunny, Milo V3, Moku, Mozart D Minor, Nick, Other Guy, Perry, Foog, Polka Dot Hubris, Puppeteer, Riafio, Shexar, Starfish, Terran, The Nowhere King, This Is Hype, Thomas, Tom, Verhex, and Vortex. Thank you all so much for your support. When we last left off, the Time Wolf was chatting with Nalita, which was like cool and all, but also there was a timer up on the wall counting down towards Petrichor's ultimatum of, hey, I'm coming back for the Tempest. If you don't want to be there when I get there, because it's going to be mine. Actually, I don't even think you were claiming it as yours. I think you were just stating that, like, there was going to be a reckoning. I don't think you had made a claim of it. That was more for Nalita, because I don't think any of the other Tempestari were made aware of your particular claim to it. Had revealed to Nalita that you are an Archmage, and I don't believe anybody else, because I don't think you didn't give any of the Tempestari a clue about that. That's why would you show your hand? So yeah, a couple more days pass by. The AA, the Adamantine Arrow, basically put you up as an ally, give you, a safe place to stay. Probably not in literally one of their safe houses, but, reputable, home, stuff like that. You have time to meet with Nalita, chat in with the counselors and the hierarch of the Boston Concilium again, more on a informal, let's have dinner kind of thing, where you meet with several of the counselors as Isabel and their sleeper personas. Basically, the women have you out for tea, and have a little bit of like social time. And it's very much a who are you under the mask, or actually, I guess. What is your mask? Because let's be real, mages are their shadow names far more than they're their sleepers, especially at the level that we're at now. And yeah, some social time, some relaxation away, kind of, a micro vacation away from the husband and the kids. Actually, that is a good question. Do you fly back and check in with things there? Obviously, like if something bad were happening, there's ways people could reach out to you anyways. Or do you just take the time of, I'm away, I'm working on this is my focus for now?
I don't think she would go home.
Okay. Yeah.
I think she's waiting to be finished with some business first.
Right. And let's be real. In the time period that we're at, somebody going away on a trip, they're gone for weeks, months.
Yep.
So yeah, this is not that big of a deal. As opposed to, nowadays it's like, oh, week-long trip and you were gone for so long. It's like, yeah, get over it. Some social time then. More of the Tempestari that you had reached out to on the allyship side of things start to trickle in, not directly coming to Boston, because you didn't like say, hey, I'm hanging out here in Boston, because again, don't put a target on your back. But word passes, especially directly from Nalita to the people that she knows. Abigail also has a very easy time finding you.
I
And
did want to have a scene with her.
oh, with Abigail?
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So like she's probably, visiting in your I'm imagining, a nice lady who has a house that,
Yep.
she rents out to, very much like Madame Robert, same kind of situation. You have a room. And so yeah, Abigail and you meet in a
In my
little,
sitting room.
yeah, exactly that.
Yep. Um, it's good to see you.
And you're looking well and fierce.
Thank you. I did something new with my hair.
And she kind of looks you over and like, because if I remember correctly, there were some changes for Petrichor.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so she's looking and she's like, yes. And you can see that there's this, it's probably a familiar thing even for Petrichor. There's something here. I can't quite tell what it is. And you've been using Mage Sight. I'm not seeing a spell. What is this? And she's giving you these squints of like, I'm not turning on Focus Mage Sight. And I'm trying really hard not to because I want to see what's
Hmm.
going on. But, as your mentor, she's relying on, even though I think at this point the scales have rebalanced. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's kind of leaning in. Yeah, what has happened here?
I journeyed further than I have before. Well, that's actually not true. I journeyed as far as possible as I have before.
She's looking at you and like very clearly like this mundane or even like astral sense, and then like it kind of clicks and she goes, did you go to the tower a second time?
Not to the tower.
But you went back.
Yes.
I thought that was a myth. You're a
Well,
myth. Well, you look and she, reaches over and like pinches your cheek. Like, you definitely seem mortal.
I could disappear in a flash.
I can too,
No,
but
I
you
mean, I can go back.
like again, like,
Yes. I have a home, a representation of myself. There is petrichor in the supernal.
and she like, you can see like there's this like, I am envious as hell, but also so fucking proud. And
Yeah.
she's just like,
I did it, I can't say without meaning to, because I was very purposeful in what I was doing. But the motivation was as much for something I owed you as to something I owed myself.
you don't owe me anything.
I do. My actions on the Tempest led to you losing your home. And I told you I would make that right.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, we're working on that, but that's your home too. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Yeah, but Abigail, yeah,
Petrichor just like chuckles and goes, I was looking for it in the astral
and
and
you,
failed to find it.
everything's in the astral. Like it's nearly the supernal.
The Tempest is not the real thing. How we think of it, sure, but
So you chase the biggest storm and then cross the abyss.
yes. And found myself for a few moments at a time just after the fall and found the spirit of the first thunderstorm, breathed life into it in a way that only we can.
And she like makes this face. It's the very familiar, like, oh, it's time stuff face. She's like, but so you
Mother of Storms. She says that in high speech.
Yeah, which and she kind of and like, but that's petrichor, and there's that moment of like, hang on, because now and for me, there's that intonation, right? The just that little subtle change, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, that's your name. It is your name. Yeah. What the fuck?
I like the way that, like, when royalty had like multiple titles and stuff, like you could just say like, Your Grace, but you really meant like, Duke of whatever bullshit.
Yeah, or some of the more fluffy titles, and exactly. And it's just like the supernal symbol, right? You look at a different angle, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, that's the same thing. I've just seen that at a different angle. That's well, okay. So in other words, all this is your fault from the beginning. Okay. Well, now your little message makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, the context is helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were just
I
like,
didn't want to really give them that context ahead of time.
No, I don't blame you, but we need to. Well, no, I guess we don't want to let everybody know. I'm sure they will know soon, because that's not a thing you can keep hidden. Not in a confrontation like this. Like, you have the first claim. Everybody else can get the fuck out.
Right. Did she see the time dog before?
Oh yeah, I think as often as Abigail has been around you and in Purgatory Bluff, at one point or another, she would have seen. And she Thyrsis? Hang on.
I thought so.
I thought so too. Yeah. So she
so she sees him hanging around.
Correct.
I have a companion in the. She just like nods her head.
She looked, and Time Wolf is flopped out on the bed. Well, sitting room, so probably the floor near the fireplace. And she goes, "Yeah, I am familiar. Yes, the time dog. We've all seen it.
We have had several talks recently, and there's the tempest that exists as we know it is still, due to the nature of our world, a reflection of the super. So there's nothing inherently needful about it having to exist as we know it.
She kind of sits back and becomes very nervous. Why? What? Why are you saying that?
Because there's no guarantee that we win this fight. Even with my new power, I'm still. Things could go wrong. And I won't. Thank you, Greg. Hi, baby. Just laid down on my mouse. I won't relinquish control of it to the Seers permanently. So if it comes down to it, we will be Tempestari, but we will not be of the Tempest.
And she gets this like heavy like 1,000-yard stare, because like the Tempest is her home. Like she is a nameless mage. She's allied to the Purgatory Bluff order. She's a close friend, but she has always been a solitaire. She has always been nameless in that regard, and she lives for the Tempest and being wicked cackling witch on a broomstick in the storm. And so now you're talking about taking her home away, and she goes, okay, but we just won't let them win, and then it's not a problem.
That's the plan. But I couldn't do this. Couldn't have the potential of this happening without you knowing. You're my mentor, my sister, auntie to my children.
And you
must know that I have all of the love and respect in my heart for you and for the Tempest being your home.
Yeah, I'm just now I have that weighing of never going home and this year's having it, but knowing it's there, or it's just gone. And I know which one is better, but it doesn't feel better. And like even some of her tone and accent, which I will not inflict upon any of you, but has like this, it loses some of the refined London vibe that she has, the very Mary Poppins. That's always the sound in the back of my head, especially now that she's got the 2 kids to look after. But like it shifts into this more child, like you're telling her Santa Claus isn't real kind of vibes, and she's just a little flat all of a sudden, right? And just kind of somewhere else for a moment, and then kind of nods, and she's like, you are right. We can't let them keep it. They can steer it into any number of destructive purposes. And I mean, if you're the one who made it, you had the final say. And I know you, and she like holds her hands up placatingly. She's like, you won't have the same emotional attachment I have to it. I've lived there, and then kind of grins, longer than you've been alive. But being awakened. But it's the right decision. And she kind of waves it off. She's like, it's fine. They don't get to win. We won't lose it. It'll be fine. It won't even come up. And if they know what's good for them, and she's starting to like pump herself up, they'll just leave when you show up. Because you're going to come in and just tell them, you brought the Tempest into the world, and so you can take it out. Because you're the mother of storms, and get to deal with it.
Let us pray this of something.
Yeah. Well, we both know how willing and supple and submissive the Seers are. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. and then kind of like reaches over and like grabs your hand. She's like, I am proud of you. This is amazing. I have a lot of spinning plates right now.
It's not just me, by the way.
And she gets this like look and she goes, no. How many of you?
The original 4. Well, not the original.
Right. The current 4. So this is what I get for going off. If I had just stayed around Purgatory,
Yeah.
like years,
decade
plus,
off into the wind and whatnot.
Decade plus of like, you should just stay here with us. We need another school teacher. You could be one of us. And she's like, no, I'm going to be my wild child self. Da, 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 da. And I missed out on the Arcmaster train. But yeah, she kind of smiles and laughs and like, so a myth turns out to be real, and there's 4 of you in one place.
There were strings being pulled.
Have you told her about Rilla? Like Arcmaster Rilla?
Yeah.
And so she kind of nods and goes, that's a long play.
Bold one.
It worked. Yeah, well, we'll see. But I mean, and she has this realization. Rilla guiding you to becoming a mage and an Arcmaster means that the Tempest Starry owe their existence to her meddling.
I disagree.
I mean, I'm not telling her that, but if you follow the string, she has a...
I think that we will never again have that opinion cross between us.
She grins. She's like, no, you're right. Yeah, she doesn't get that one.
I'm not the first Tempestari.
That's true. You just made the Tempest, which you didn't found the Tempestari.
Exactly.
There's always somebody who would have. That first storm would have been okay. And she nods, and like the weight off her shoulders that this meddling Arcmaster is not responsible for, everything.
Petrichor's eyes just kind of flip a couple times as she like thinks about some time stuff real quick. She's like, no, that's true.
No, that works out. Yeah. Especially
time checks out.
Yeah. And let's be real, time stuff that is the architect's thing. So oh, that's very good. And the thing that I am really enjoying about this conversation is I imagine both of you are dressed appropriately for sitting in the sitting room. Mm-hmm. And so we're used to seeing, Petrichor, Isabel in, cowboy getup, and Abigail in nothing to very minimal, like black witch dress, archetypal witch. And she's in a similar appropriate Victorian dress, both sitting, and I see the saucer and the tea, and just having this discussion about, no, fuck that archmage, in proper gossipy vibes in the little sitting room there. I'm trying to think. Was Abigail at?
Abigail takes a sip.
Mm-hmm.
And Isabel just suddenly screams something in Latin, having had a bright idea. And that is Tempest in a teacup.
What?
A vessel. I won't necessarily have to get rid of it. We could contain it.
If you had suggested that at the start of this conversation, I would have said you're a mad woman. But now I don't know what you're capable of. But yeah, just, I mean, it's a entity, a thing. It's big, but you could just put it somewhere else. Take it away from them without necessarily removing it. I mean, I couldn't do it.
Who do we
but
think can get this done in the next 16 hours?
I mean, I know a few people. I mean, really, all we need is a very large space.
I can take care of the spirit requirements for sure.
And at that point, it's just, I mean, move it someplace across the gauntlet. So we don't even care about space. We can just move it to a place that isn't. Well, I'm not much of a fighter, but I'm good at flying. And then kind of stands up quickly and, grimly ancestors. By your leave, mother, I'll go find a place.
Yeah.
Good. And then leans down,
Yeah.
gives you like
And she's like so excited about this idea now.
Yeah. Well, and it's because Abigail is not a fighter and was not in the first fight.
Mm-hmm.
But she was ready to roll up
Yep.
alongside. But now here's an opportunity for her to contribute without fighting. And she's like, "Yep, I'm on it. This is for me." And gives you a little curtsy, and then you feel the little ripple and tear as she steps into the shadow. And she is off to find a nice big place that doesn't exist on our side of the gauntlet.
Right.
I love that. Every now and then, folks, the players tell me in advance, "Oh, I had this cool idea," and we just play to it. And then sometimes there's this stuff that happens literally out of nowhere, and it's like, this is brilliant. It doesn't completely ruin my notes either. I'm excited. Legitimately though, why did we not think of that before? Just like, we're just gonna yoink it.
I remember having the thought of it at one point, but I think Ralph was talking at the moment. Like it was a completely unrelated scene,
Right.
and so I said I'll remember that later, and then
didn't. Yep. No, I've started in my games. I now pull up a Google Drive Word document, and as stuff happens, I just type.
Yeah.
And then I come back and go, "Oh yeah, that thing." That's true. Shout out to Wednesday Night Cyberpunk, which, hey, yeah, Jesse was kind of there.
So true.
Good stuff. So yes, Abigail zooms off in search for such a place. And in 16 hours, that's quite a bit of time for her to look. And the shadow is a huge place. But she's been around for a while and is quite comfortable in the shadow. Whereas you have always flown in the mundane world with giant wings and just been like, "Hope nobody looks up," shrug.
And that far up, but that's small.
Correct. Yeah. For her, she has always jumped into the shadow and zoomed that direction. And sometimes it works for or against her, depending on the layout of the shadow. But she's quite familiar on that side. So yeah, I think yeah, within the next day, I am I will set the scene. Nalita is there with a few. Actually, she offers to bring some adamantine arrow muscle. Are you on board, or is like no, I'm just taking Tempestari?
They are welcome as reinforcements, but not in the like
Initial,
initial.
let's chat, see if we can get everybody to
Yeah.
settle. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So she's like,
Like basically, if y'all want to take a crack at anybody that's like escaping,
I like that idea. She's like, yep, no, that's fine. Honor up front, but drop anybody who doesn't belong. Yeah, and she has the space for handling that surprise reinforcements kind of stuff. So she's like, okay, you're the boss. But yeah, so we have the scene with you with Nalita, a few others of the Tempestari who have arrived, who are like Nalita's friends and acquaintances, and I'm imagining at like a large warehouse that serves this kind of purpose for the Boston adamantine arrow. And yeah, there's this group of Tempestari and their various looks, including petrichor. I imagine you have the sugar skull, yeah, and the witchy cowboy hat. So good.
yeah.
Delita's got the toga on and and like obviously every mage looks a little bit like a character, because that's just leaning in the shadow name. But there's this definite division. It's like, you guys look like the hodgepodge of adamantine arrow, and then there's all you who are just like storm, lightning. Some of you are standing there in the enclosed warehouse and your hair is just constantly whipping around. It's like, yeah, y'all go together real well. And you haven't heard from Abigail. But as the time is ticking down, we need to go kind of stuff. We have the classic movie moment. Delita, go ahead.
Is Nalita capable of making the teapot? With Prime in space, probably.
She does have space. She does have Prime. She could make a pocket dimension. So that is definitely like an option. So yeah, that is probably like the back pocket idea. Yeah. It would just be, could you squeeze a storm into a campus-size pocket dimension? I feel like that's.
I'm viewing it as essentially like a kind of archmage version of a fetish spell.
Oh, okay.
And so with some space and some Prime to like make sure that it's like supernally sound enough to hold this as a fetish, then that was my idea.
Okay.
And like, yeah.
In that case, I could see that almost being like, I can't remember the name of the spell. Well, you would need that, which we can backtrack to, if like that's what you've been doing. I can't remember what the name of the spell is. It's like imbuing a room. Has a specific
imbued space, right? Imbued room, imbued space in my top.
Yeah. I could have. Yeah, I think that's right. I think you create the room first. But yes, that I could see, because that's what I was thinking of, is just having teleporting it and sending it somewhere and just letting it loose to run rampant in the shadow. with your idea, yeah, I could see that just being like, I'm imbuing this room. It is made to hold a storm. Because, if you talk about the actual mass of a storm, like it's going to be a lot, but you can cram that into a large. So the warehouse that you all are meeting in is glowing with magic. And Alita's looking at you and looking at these runes and going, are you sure about this? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So quick potential retcon. Is that the idea of a space to put it rather than shunt it into the shadow?
I mean, you can free something from being a fetish.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like, which would be the intentional plan for Tempest in a Teacup. Because my read on it was literally just teleporting it to some place where the seers wouldn't be able to have it, but actually that's not a great idea because they can teleport to it. Yeah. Okay, never mind. So yeah, Abigail does not go off to seek out a space in the shadow.
I think it's still good. Like it's a place that we can put it later.
Oh, that's also true.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love the idea of it having a home like deep in the shadow.
Ooh. Okay. Yes, I like that. Okay. Very good. Plan solved. Yeah. So yeah, she is looking at these runes. And it's definitely an improvised spell, but you are able to guide. She has intimate understanding of the Tempest, just as you do. Well, not just as you do, but and the other adamantine arrow who are there, who are not Tempest are like, you can hear them talking about they're going to put a storm in here. Yeah, it's going to be fine. So yeah, what do you think in that case, the 16 hours that you've been free to roam about, what do you think you would use for quintessence to create a really big fetish?
I think it's in her mind it's more about the containment rather than like
accessing the powers.
Accessing the powers and stuff. And so she thinks of like, what better to control the storm than the four winds?
Well, handy.
Yeah. So she reaches out through her bonds to her familiars and is basically like, we will need your help to contain.
If I might suggest, having the familiars swing into Boston, bringing the winds with them, and effectively create the walls of the warehouse.
Yep. Yeah, it was either that or like have them like literally do a like giant dance around the Tempest to sort of.
I like the idea of there's all the conversation, and in the back of Petrichor's mind, she's hearing the four voices of her familiars talking, excited about getting to meet the Tempest. Have you ever met the Tempest? I hear it's wonderful. Oh, it's a destructive thing. Oh, it's a life. Their various personalities, and just schoolgirling it up about the first storm. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So in that case, yeah, Abigail is scooting about, but she doesn't necessarily need to have some place to put it immediately. Okay, cool. Yep. That works out then. So yeah, we pick up with a containment place is put in, is set up. The adamantine arrow reinforcements are there and looking a little bit antsy, because it's not a, are you ready to go? It's, are we going to even need to go? Right. So they don't have that clear, I have to get ready. It might be a stand down kind of situation. So there's that more wishy-washiness that probably makes even for more anxiety. And your small little group, and are you and your allies meeting somewhere, or is it no, because you told everybody It's happening at the Tempest. If you're going to be, yeah, okay, yeah. So there's not even a meet up with your allies beforehand. So okay, cool. Yeah, in that case,
by wing or by spell, I figure people are arriving.
Yep. So in that case, the leader kind of looks at you and looks at the rest and goes, "Are you ready?"
Yes.
And then like she brings everybody in, everybody hold hands, and then there's, I think it's probably even a smoother, subtler feel than when Legba teleports y'all. So usually you guys co-locate anyways, but this is going home. Right, this is that pulling into the driveway feel of like, done, and you're there. And the Seers have wrecked this place. Like, it's not torn up in that regard, but all the cloud structure, and originally we had those two big castles that had developed and stuff like that. You are now standing in the midst of, we would recognize it as some World War I trench bullshit. All sorts of zigzags of debris. Well, not even debris. It's all cloud. And dips and just things that break line of sight, because at the end of the day, that's a lot of what a mage fight is going to be, unless you have sympathetic connections, and you all do. So now all of a sudden, anybody who has had ties across the aisle now are more vulnerable than ever. It is a tense thing, and you all appear in what is kind of the, I was going to say unofficial, but it's probably the official arrival and meeting place there in the center of the Tempest, looking down into the eye of it. And that space is kind of cleared out, but everything else, it's a twist of clouds as trenches, walls. There's several towers and a large stronghold fortress. Like they took that castle idea that initially had been, both sides kind of being like, haha, we're going to be kind of silly about this. Like, oh, we're going to make our castle, you're going to make your castle for arguing. And then we got more serious about it. And now, with nobody else there, that Seer castle has just become enormous. It's a little bit more fantastical because they've just shaped it to their will. It definitely has a more pyramid thing. And the wreckage would be, actually, we can lean into 40K here. There are ruinous signs all over the clouds. Nobody has dared actually put the iron seal itself down, but there are like symbols of, this Exarch or that Exarch. Of note, there's actually quite a lot of the Predator, which is not unsurprising because that is life, which is, about a quarter of Tempestari. But that is particularly prevalent. And waiting to greet you are some allies and friends. And then the Seer contingent, which has, where the Diamond Order, Nameless Order stuff is kind of spread out in different little groups. Looking over, there are clearly 3 divisions. Squads that are clumped and arrayed against you, but there's definitely some like side eye to the others, because put a bunch of Seers in one place, put a bunch of any mages in one place. Let's be clear, we're going to start to argue, but Seers are a little bit more backstabby. And relying on your years of having been a Tempest Star, you recognize these folks. They're not like the obvious ringleaders, but there are three that you're like, oh yeah, I recognize them. One is Mazal the Heavenly. Dude is channeling big genie energy, right? Bronze skin, oiled up, genie pants, hair in a top knot. He looks like he probably grants wishes, and that's probably his intentional vibe. And he has with him several others who are part of a Tempest Starry pylon. So they have been a core group of problem, but they're all Tempest Starry, so you can't even really complain previously because, well, they're all Tempest Starry. They're all technically welcome here. And so when votes came up and they're voting as a block, or, well, okay, vote. When there's a fight to decide what we're going to do, and the four of them are all working kind of together, it's a tough thing. The other contingent is Annika and Akina, who are twins, and you have met Annika. You know Annika. She's a Abrimos Tempestari, and you have heard of Akina, her twin brother, but not met him. Fun fact, actually does look like her twin, legitimately might be, but you know him as Amoro's Forge Master. So definitely somebody who should not be involved in Tempestari politics, but is here backing up her. And yes, if I'm seeing the Jesse face, there are Seer Forge Masters. They just are very, very okay. I was trying to read the expression, and it's just the two of them and a small army of Myrmidons.
Bugmen.
Yep. And up here, they do not even bother trying to hide any of the glamour. So yeah, little mandible mouths or little, pincer hands, antenna. There's that one guy, he's like, wow, you look okay. And then just like, bling, the just little funky little antenna, and they are armed pretty heavily. And they're like, oh no, we're not throwing magic around. And these guys are amongst the cover, and you can quickly, I was like, oh, why there's so much trench kind of stuff. And the two of them are standing next to each other looking like the worst. Well, I apologize, Jesse, but they are looking like the worst Team Rocket. Jesse James pairing, and it's just like, oh, okay. And Annika was decent to get along with because she's an Abrimos and she's a Tempestari and it's fine. And you look at Akina and you're just like, oh, you're a douchebag, aren't you? But yeah, like smirking, like they have this and they're like in the middle of the squad. And then a much smaller contingent is led by Alexessi, the Lamia. She's a Thyrsus Tempestari. And she is the black sheep of the Tempestari. She's the problem one. She's the one that the Tempestari have on occasion had to go to places and apologize for her actions and explain that she does not speak for the Tempestari as a whole. She's not quite left-handed, but she has some very destructive might makes right. Let's just flood the planet again, and anybody who survives deserves to survive ideas. She's the one that, like, if somebody isn't constantly at the Tempest keeping an eye on it, she's the one who keeps trying to steer it towards heavily populated areas to park it. She is the entire problem. And if it weren't for the fact that she's clearly not mad, capital M, she's not wrapped. you'd be able to run her out. But no, she's just like, no, I just think this is, we use the storms for storm. And it's like technically she's not wrong, but looking,
this kills people.
right. But looking across the three of them, it's also the absolute who's who of, this is why we can't have nice things in the Tempestari. These are the problem children. Oh, and yeah, sorry, I just kind of zoomed up. Mazal, you know of as being, yes, he's the little genie guy. He's very much also old school legacy, like the quartet of them are an ongoing pylon of Tempestari mages being passed down from, like, you know, the first, and, you know, whether or not that's actually accurate, right? But it's just, we've been around for forever. We represent this pylon cabal legacy, and my mentor, you know, their mentor. It's just like, we hear you, but their voices don't matter. Yeah, exactly. I knew I had these characters written to annoy Jesse just right. It's like, I don't care who your parents were or who your grand mentor was. Who are you? Yeah, and they're standing there, and it's very much the you know, laying terms, you know, before a battle, like, hey, can we sort this out? Hey, or, you know, what, you know, parlay, that's the one. Kind of set out, and as you arrive, the rest of the Diamond Order Free Council, nameless orders, kind of move in very, very quickly, because they recognize, you know, it's you've been a, you know, troublemaker yourself, and they go, so they're ready. What are we doing?
I see that. We're going to talk to them. By that I mean I'm going to talk to them.
And like immediately everybody's like, okay, cool, that's much more comfortable. And they start to scramble for like cover. They're like, no. Last time you showed up, you started talking to Nelita and shit hit the fan. We're gonna be more ready this time. And it very much does look like everybody who is here are folks who are down to fight.
Can handle it, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the Tempestari, because I mean, we joke about them being fighters and conflict. There's a lot who like to shout and argue, but when it comes down to an actual fight, actual fisticuffs, dual arcane, you know, it's not that big of a deal, and they might back up. You know, a lot full of hot air. Ooh, that's probably a real Tempestari insult, isn't it? Oh yeah. Okay. Yes.
A blowhard.
Yep. Oh man, God, all the wind and weather puns have got to be atrocious amongst y'all. Oh my God. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, she's got her giant golden eagle wings, and kind of like angelic, like floating down, like flapping to keep herself vertical, which doesn't work very well for long, but long enough to make an entrance.
Right. Yeah.
Flies
absolutely.
down at sort of the point to like make a diamond with the other three. Or the other three like groups. And then just like sits down cross-legged.
We expected more of a fight, says Mazal, as like he kind of like they were very clearly like ready to just start throwing down, and it's like, okay. So he comes, you know, steps forward, does that whole like, oh yeah, I'll be, you know, I'll take that first step. I'm not afraid. Steps over and kind of, you know, settles himself down across from you, and a little bit more slowly Alex, gang, Alexesi, the Lamia, and Annika move forward. Akina steps forward and kind of like makes a motion towards the Myrmidons, but like
Petrichor, like,
oh yeah, no, you guys are on the same page, and he just like he steps forward like I'm taking that front position, and then holds back. But you can see, especially as he does, he kind of stands and he has that like well actually heck it's the western like pull the jacket back, here's my six gun. He does that, but you can see he has rings, amulets, all sorts of like this guy, and probably Annika probably did not bring a bunch of people because they are probably enchanted to the gills, and probably so are the Myrmidons, right? So there is that like threat of, oh no, it's just the two of us and all them, but we came like prepared, kind of show. And then the Lamia kind of looking at the other. Sorry, I say Lamia. That's just a title she has taken. She's not a snake lady.
Right.
But seeing the other two, she kind of rolls her eyes and saunters over. She does also have an entourage of some of the more wild-eyed Tempestari, just to be clear, on the Seer side.
Yep.
And she kind of makes her way over, but pointedly takes like this like feral squat, like she's ready to like lunge. Like she's trying to be off-putting. Actually, now that I think about it, she's probably the kind to like carry a bared blade. There is an intentional show to it, obviously.
Your stance is noted. Sit.
She compromises with like one knee down.
You won't get to me before I hit you first. I promise that. Now, are you ready to talk?
What do you have to say?
Actually, I'm quite interested in what you have to say. I imagine you have questions after my message.
I didn't hear your message.
No?
No,
Shame.
I heard
It was
from
well crafted.
I heard from them that we were going to divide up the Tempest today. So I came to get my piece.
That's what you all told her?
Like Mazal, the Heavenly, has this bit of a smirk. More or less, we said we were going to divide up the Tempest once we got rid of you and them.
I was curious which of you was going to sort of keep it.
Oh, we can share, but
it always goes so well for you when you Seers collaborate, huh?
I think, actually, Aniko, she's like, well, yeah. We built the ladder. We took heaven.
You didn't do shit.
She kind of gives a disapproving, what kind of language.
And that's why you have an outsider here as your entourage.
He's my brother.
And? Do you see my cabal here?
You're not flesh and blood.
It's funny.
What's funny?
You saying I'm not flesh and blood.
You and your cabal.
Well, it's true for them as well.
The
Why don't we
Lamia.
all state our names before we start?
I love it because Mazal is like, I'm on board for that. Yes, I am Mazal the Heavenly, though you know that.
In high speech.
And like, there is legitimate snickering from the Seer's side because Petrichor has spoken high speech before, and everybody's like, she's not even fluent. What is, like, what kind of like flex is this supposed to be, right? Mazal is like, okay. And yeah, Mazal the Heavenly, which does have some big Jin Master of Winds vibes, And then Annika, though she says her name and it feels like half of a sentence. And then the Lamia, which definitely has some Greek myth like origins of, oh yeah, seduce men, kill them, eat them. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Hers though has a we'll say flavor of iron seal to it. Like she has some prelate flavoring to it. Like, and she's not shy about it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
And like all three of them lean it. Yeah, perfect.
Petrichor.
And like there's a wait.
And I imagine like in this space, like all of the cloud work they've done like vibrates.
Yeah, that I was like, there's that resonance, and especially because like, yeah, we know what you're. Hang on, wait, say that one more time. And the like, no, we've heard this. Like, there is some very clear confusion across their faces, and like you watch even as the Lamia like kind of shifts back instead of that like forward lunge, more of a evasive maneuver, and goes, hold up. And Mazal the Heavenly, who is like the talker, right? He's the big showboat. He's the blowhard. Leans in and goes, that's new.
It's very old, actually.
And like you feel the focus mage site, right? That manipulation.
Look all you want.
The manipulation of mana teasing across your pattern, and it's not an outright spell. So some of the stuff that you could pick up from that, but and like it's because as far as I'm aware, the only spell you have on you is I have wings. And there's this look, and they're looking you over and like squinting for the concealed veiled spell, something else, and Mazal kind of shifts back. Petrichor, and says it properly,
and then in English he just says Mother of Storms.
And you can see his like shift because his claim especially kind of vanishes, because this whole I had this historical claim, we've been here for forever, and you're like, and like, actually,
I want to be clear, Mazal. The extension of the line of mentorship that you belong to is important. It is a long living history as ours should be, of those that have come before and those that have lived here and died here. I do not wish for that to end today.
Actually, you know what? I think that's definitely going to be our first roll. I'm good with that being probably expression, but I can see persuasion.
Yep.
You have no negatives to that roll. Four successes.
4 successes.
9 dice, 4 successes. Yeah, we're just coming out. That's without willpower.
I didn't need it.
Yeah, what's the Shaggy meme? Just the 1%?
1%, yeah.
And Mazal, like, between his claim and then the way you were handling that of like, I respect your claim. I see where it's, but mine trumps. And kind of, well, in that case, and you can see him like scrambling to see what bit that he can claim and keep, and slowly kind of, pivots himself up and stands and then gives, I wouldn't say a deep bow, but a respectful bow and says, then I will leave this to the three of you to determine, and then we'll return. And like steps back, and then he and his quartet of Tempestari just bebop off with, some of the folks who were behind them, and we're probably what you would say like some of the more traditional, like probably actually got along pretty well with the Diamond Order folks. They were, especially the Silver Ladder-esque vibe of we have rules, we have procedures. Yes, it's a lot of dual arcane, but we go by those rules. And they're just like, nope.
More tied to the father.
Yeah. Even just not necessarily the deep dark seer kind of just like, hey, we like being in charge, we like power. Whoa, hang on. The nobility claim to the right to the throne, she's got the better one. We'll figure another way to move in and take stuff from you, but for now we have been outplayed, guys. Let's roll out. And yeah, you watch as about a third of the seers leave the Tempest. And the Lamia just grins wide and goes, more for us.
Really, how do you think this will go?
And she kind of shrugs and like looks at you and then the group behind and then over at Annika and goes, well, if we don't have a bunch of bugs on the Tempest, then, this can be cut down even 50-50, the way it always was.
We'll not be doing things the way they were done before.
How would you do it?
I'll speak plainly. Either you will all leave, or there will be no more Tempest.
Annika looks confused, but the Lamia just grins. And you wouldn't do that. Why would you take this?
Because it's mine. She says that in high speech.
Yep. And she like that doesn't seem, well, actually it does register, but as the like animal-esque like challenge, right? And she goes, we can find that out. and like starts to lean back forward again.
Sure.
But if you do want, we can definitely throw in, intimidation or even something on the physical side. This will be at a -2.
Um,
Well, maybe it depends on what skill you want to roll.
I think athletics, just to be like, even as she shifts, to like be there and like have a gun.
I like that. Just that the quick draw. I can see that being quick draw. I can see being firearms or athletics. In that case, it would not have a -2.
Okay. I was thinking like manipulation plus
Firearms for like the quick
plus
draw.
firearms.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds perfect. Yeah, because it's
like
the
the
showy.
social impact of it, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's more finesse. Oh, right,
Mhm.
manipulation, not dexterity. Yes, I'm with you
Yeah.
now. I was like, obviously manipulation. No, it's a different skill. We did put some willpower on that one. Still, 3 successes on 9, 10, 11, 12 dice. Math?
Yep.
11 dice.
Well, average.
Yeah, 12. Yeah. And like I like that idea of like, oh well, we can figure that out. And like it's a lean and it's meant to be a threat, but not not an actual action. Yeah. And that gun, and especially because I imagine it's the Alphoth, it's been reloaded. This has a beam of death pistol, just like pops into your hand. Like your hand didn't appear to go down, it's just in your hand. And she kind of shifts, and like there is a wariness. She is not afraid of it, but she is very aware, and she clearly recognizes what that thing did months ago. And she says, actually, what would she say? Oh, I think she's like, yeah, we'll settle this in a dual arcane, like as if that was her intention the entire time. We can settle it that way. What?
Very well.
She kind of stands, and the blade tucks away, like she's getting into the like, okay, well, we're ritually going to do this, and then looks down at Annika and goes, well, are we not finishing our parlay? And Annika just kind of
left on his own. Mizal left on his own. There's no reason I can't handle you and deal with her.
And Annika is just grinning because it's fun to see the Lamia caught out like this, and she's like, yes, I can wait. And like she doesn't even move, and just kind of gestures to the two of you to just kind of take that step to the side, and she says, here, I'll adjudicate. And like she's just still sitting, and just calls up the visible runes, runes of power. I can't remember. I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and do this, because there's no love lost for her.
If I win, you and your entourage will relinquish all claims to the Tempest. You may remain Tempestari, but you will do it on your own.
Very well. And if I win, then you lose any claims to the Tempest, and you and your entourage can go your way. Fair is fair. And kind of looks down at Annika, and Annika nods. She has heard the oaths spoken within the dual arcane, and cue battle music. As I quickly scramble to go find Milo V3's amazing rules for.
Petrichor just starts idle and imagining.
Absolutely. And especially like you've got the gun in hand still, I imagine. Yep. It's never going to fire a shot, but we're going to hold it. All right, so let's take a look over our settings here. Obviously, the two of you will have different successes necessary. So for the Lamia, is the opponent's gnosis higher than yours? Yes. Is it twice yours? I don't believe so. No, definitely not. The Lamia is not that wimpy. So she's at +1. Wisdom is a higher tier than yours. Yes. Is 2 tiers higher than yours? Yes. She's not wrapped, but she's down there. So she's against a +3. Opponent is not in love with you. Nope. Is from a hostile sect. So that's +5. Is considered your rival as of today. Yes.
Yeah.
And
6.
You have declared your intention to destroy your opponent. No. Surrounding environment is appropriate to the opponent's path. Yes. And vice versa. So I'm just going to call it null, and we'll just stick to. Well, actually, I think it probably would be better to have. Yep.
So that's 7.
7. Yep. On the flip side, that's I'm trying to remember what the base is. Base 10, so 17. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So putting this here in Roll20 so I can keep track. Needs 17. And then on Petrichor's side, does not have to contend with the Gnosis or Wisdom.
Should this be +4?
For hostile sect, rival,
and path.
So, man, Lamia, you just really picking fights outside your league. Petrichor needs 14. Okay. Determining edge. If I remember correctly, this is a Gnosis plus Arcana roll. And it has to be a ruling Arcana. Jump over. So she is using her spirit.
Fitting.
Oh, realizing, what's the Tempestari primary Arcana or ruling Arcana?
Spirit.
Okay, yeah.
Spirit and forces.
That's right. Okay, so that's her roll. Wait, hang on. Is it? That is a Gnosis plus Arcana roll for the determining edge.
Gnosis Arcana. Whoops, sorry.
Okay, she still wins out, because in my mind, I don't think as characters you know what you need to get to beat the other. Yeah. So she just grabs the edge and is feeling quite pleased with herself. All right. And since she has the edge, she gets to roll first, and she's definitely deciding to sword action.
Mm-hmm.
And rolling down, it is appropriate attribute. Yes. Okay. That's the part that I always mess up. And that's what you had done for the first one. Okay.
Yep.
I was about to use Rilla Remington's character sheet to make selecting attributes easier, but I realized it's going to look very, very weird having a bunch of rolls of really. Imagine one of the other players popping in between. Let me check my character sheet. Why was Petrichor and Rilla rolling off? So we won't do that. So we will start off, and she will use attribute, and it's any attribute, right?
Yep. Needs to be, sortable.
Right.
So probably power or finesse.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that. And then, so finesse actually works on both sides, whereas, Milo, I swear, these rules, every time I use them, they're just a little bit better than I remember, without being changed. Okay. So she's going to come out swinging Yeah, I actually like the idea of she's going to lean into her strength and spirit, um, and her. I can't remember. Does willpower have any other use in the dual arcane?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So she will throw her willpower at this, and she's basically. Well, I'll narrate then roll. Reaches back and draws for a blade, but this time drawing forth what looks like a shimmering blade of just raw essence, just formed into, and there is the resonance of like predation to it as she just swings. Oh God. For a whopping 2 successes. Just swinging with that whole I'm just going to end this in one swing kind of vibe.
I think Petrichor sees that, responds in kind. Like, she has that in her, but she is not that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just a manipulation of because like the clouds here are clouds, but they are also essence formed into, they're the corpus of the tempest as well.
Yep.
And I think she just kind of like spins and kicks up dirt, but it's a cloud as a shield to block the path of the stabbing.
Yep.
And just attempts to not be there.
Yep. All right, Lamia. 2 of 17. Petrichor halfway done.
6 of 14.
6 of 14. Yep. Though that said, I do believe she's probably still keeping the edge.
You think? With that result,
it was. I'm trying to remember. Where do we lose edge? Turns.
as the context of the scene changes significantly, redetermine who has the edge.
Okay. Is there one that just straight up you lose the edge? Because that's what I was thinking of. Is it if your description isn't appropriate?
Yeah, I think so.
But okay, not gonna. Absolutely fair. Yeah, so you would take the edge, Petrichor. And you would have the sword in this case, anyways. So very appropriate.
Yeah. I think in the like puff of cloud as she like stabs into it, and Petrichor ducks and sweeps out and
just isn't there.
Pops up, and I think the thing here is just her instinctively knowing when and where to be to get a strike in. And so it is her like ducking, spinning out, and like firing, like making a firing motion, but it is a bullet of time to be exactly where it needs to be.
The idea also of time and dodging.
It's not quite dodge this Trinity, but it is in the same vein from a bit more distance.
Yep, I dig it. 3 successes.
3 successes.
Sure. All right. So with her strength tapped. So she's going to rely on her. Yeah, I think probably dexterity and how does one counter time? Yeah, that's not great, but we'll do it, and then add some of her dwindling willpower as she basically, like, she sees a bullet coming at her, and it's made of time, but it's still a bullet, and Yvette tries to redirect, looks a little bit of wind, a little bit of forces, and she's just like, no, and just pushing it with not necessarily raw force, because it is using her dexterity, but just that, like, I'm just guiding this. So, okay. Lamia, all right. We have a fight on our hands. All right, Lamia. 8 of 17, and Petrichor, I mean, still
9 of 14.
9 of 14.
That's just one just roll away from it.
Yeah. Dang. I think she probably gets the edge on that one. I like the idea of Petrichor's build being not a bullet that travels, but a bullet that is in place. Yeah, to like hit. Your body finds it.
And she fucking manages to not be there.
And then she's going to lean into her presence, and she can't go back yet to spirit, can she? Let's see here. I gotta remember. Yes, to cycle all her arcana. Can use the same attribute. Okay, so she could stick to the same arcana, but it would still need to be appropriate. Okay. So yeah, she comes back to presence and spirit plus willpower. And it's just the, for anybody who has spirit 4, right? It's that flex of, I'm a queen, I rule, and there is less sword to it and more of, I have swords at my call kind of vibe. Appearance wise, I imagine it is her calling up swords, those who
Gilgamesh in it.
Yes, yeah. I'm calling forth the. Ooh, okay. Well, she showed up. That's 2 successes for the Lamia.
I think Petrichor draws like a representation of Althoth out of her gun as she spins around and dances and forms like a shield, oils around herself.
Okay.
With, I think that's probably stamina. She's not dodging. She's probably getting ready to take the hit. Yeah. So stamina and spirit.
Ooh.
That's 5, baby.
Yep.
So there's one just away from it. Cold shot, baby. I love the idea of just that, for anyone that's not a Fate Stay Night nerd, Gilgamesh has all of the legendary swords because he had the first one, and so everyone's swords are based on his, and he just can throw all of them. And so the idea that she just sits there with an alpha and just gets hit by swords for 30 minutes and then walks out unscathed.
I like the idea of it's striking. I'm like the Shenron of all Shenron, glowing gold lightning, and just ding 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 ding, and she just walks through Althoth afterwards, and just like, what? And just the Lamia kind of drops to her knees, because like that was, she yeah, well, that was her big attack, that like she's throwing her biggest punches, and it's just like, this is nothing. Like, and I really like the idea of finishing with a shield and being like, this is, you have done nothing, this was a waste of your time. And she just crumples. She takes the defeated. You get the triumphant. Yeah, there it is. And, triumphant. Yep. And loses as many
power back.
Yep. And she loses as many arcana. As she loses as many points of willpower as she lost arcana dots. How do we lose arcana dots?
If you fail rolls.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so she doesn't actually lose any willpower, at least. But she does take the defeated condition. And yeah, just
work for a thing when you're doing duels at low levels.
Right. And she just kind of drops to her knees in that, we'll lean into the anime, the just completely defeated slump of like, how? Though less of a how thing, because it's like we've seen, but Annika on the flip side, like we're gonna have to deal with the Lamia. Annika is looking over here and has gotten that vibe from the, like 6 dots of spirit that has been thrown out at least twice. And is giving this very quizzical look and rises up, kind of takes a couple steps back, and while you are dealing with the Lamia, is moving back towards Akina. Not like, we're gonna get back to her in a sec, but any last words for the Lamia or anything?
I think she just like crouches down in her face, like squatting, like the nice little tinkle of the spurs on her boots, like kind of click, and she just says, "Take a good look. It's the last time you'll ever see it."
Yeah. Then the Lamia falls through the clouds.
Yep. I was like, do I get to Sparta kick her, or does she just fall?
Well, because you Sparta kick her into the eye, and she's going somewhere else entirely.
Well, no.
But yeah, she just falls through the clouds, and like, there's several beats before you hear the screaming. Like, it takes her a second for her to realize, oh shit.
And the rest of her people just horror drop through the clouds too.
Like trapdoors. And they just start, it's like, oh, yep, nope, the Supernal is enforcing this. Dual Arcanes, don't fuck with them, because that shit just becomes reality. And at that point, I think that's when Petrichor notices that, Annika has gotten up and moved from her spot, and she's over with Akina.
Are we done talking?
Yes, ma'am.
And are we done arguing?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you done being here?
Yes, ma'am. And like, the Myrmidons are poking around like, I thought we were fighting. So we're going, and like, you can hear the quiet, short, like the twin conversation.
Twin conlang.
Yeah, like where it's just like half beats, and like they're just picking up what each other is saying. They're like, what? Nope, nope. And they're leaving, and like, nope, we're flying out of here. She is going by one, and just like using a command word, and all of a sudden these Myrmidons are flying and zipping off. And sorry, ma'am, we're getting everybody out of here. we're not. Like the two of them, and like because Akina is very confused at why we're leaving, because now it's just one-on-one, and like we don't outnumber them, but we got guns. And no, we are not. I'll tell you later in the ride home. And it is, there's not like so many Myrmidons that it takes like 20 minutes, but it's long enough that everybody is watching, and it's awkward for them as like, promise we're getting out here as fast as we can, because like Annika knows, like Lamia got off lucky because it was just a dual arcane. Like what the other things that potentially could have happened, like if you had not limited yourself to a dual arcane, the things that Archmasters can do, and they fly off. And then Nalita from, behind some cover shouts, Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? Why would we not?
And, people start to step out from behind cover, and already, and I think some of it is a Petrichor thing, and I think some of it is them, like the clouds start to shift and move, and like come down and stuff like that. And Lita walks over.
She has her familiars like sculpting.
Well, I imagine they're still.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But no, she comes over and she's like, well, you kicked the Seers out. I didn't think you would, but there was the possibility that we wouldn't get to stay if we didn't measure up or anything. So I just wanted to be sure.
No, we're all victorious today.
Good. I'm glad, and also glad this didn't result in bloodshed. Looking down through the clouds, so long as the Lamia gets her act figured out. But if she doesn't, then she really doesn't deserve to be a Tempestari. But that does mean some of them may come back, though, later.
You truly think they will?
I mean, Mazal, that's an old claim. But at this point, what happened to the Lamia, that story will spread. And she kind of shrugs. I've seen some duels, and that was, I mean, you didn't even work up a sweat to that. And if we're all here and this is ours now, and she kind of like, there's a question to that again. There's this hesitance because she knows what you are. And she's like, I'm trying not to overstep, but I'm still unsure, right? If this is ours and we have our claim on it, and then, I don't imagine that they will be residents here, but I mean, Mazal, they're old school. They'll probably require initiation and return to the Tempest as a thing, but it's not required. But they'll do it because of tradition, or they'll try to. Annika and Akina, I think
we're working on the long-term solution. And like by this point, I think that Greek amphitheater is like reforming, and I imagine Petrichor just like on the stage.
Yeah, it is forming before you,
right? Yeah. And she puts on her big girl voice. Thank you all for being by my side today. I know that as Tempestari, We might be a little disappointed we didn't get to actually do anything, huh?
There's some whoops and hollers, but there's also this like, some claps of like, you know what? Glad you handled that. And I think that you're probably. I mean, Nalita said it. It's like nobody actually had to die because
Right.
at the end of the day, most mages understand like mages dying is not super great. It's less magic in the world, right?
Yeah.
And because even a live seer is a bit of a middle finger to the exarchs, because at the end of the day, hey, it's somebody else who's able to do magic, somebody else who's not asleep.
So she kind of lets everyone like chuckle, and then kind of that chuckle goes off into sort of thoughts about what could have been, and so I do thank you. I am very grateful. I know that any of us could have um, given up our breath today, and I'm glad that you all continue with us into the future. I imagine you all understand what I am now.
I think there's a couple folks like who are in the back who are like, "What's your shadow name? What happened?"
She gives a honest but brief rundown of what she did and repeats that she is the mother of storms. And so I want this to be a new dedication of this place as a place of the Tempestari. And I began talks in Boston with members of the Diamond to try and look forward, to bring us all together. That the Nameless and the Diamond might become something new together. And I have wished that we start that here.
And there's a shout from the back of, "We have your back if you have ours."
I think there is a time of strife coming.
"A storm is coming" was right there.
There's a time of strife coming. And us Nameless Orders have been in a no man's land for a while. I don't believe that option will continue to be as viable. And I would not have us be drawn in by the lies and the bribery that the seers offer.
Ooh, which is a good point. Amongst the various contingents that showed up here today, amongst the seers, there were no nameless folks, because there were some nameless that had gone over to their side, but none of them showed to back the seers.
Right.
Some didn't show at all, but
so I will be available from here. I think let's see, what does she do? I think she flicks open the like the revolver. I've lost all my terminology.
no matter like the chamber.
Yeah. Opens up the chambers of the Alphoth revolver and pulls out a bullet that's been in there for a while. And imbues it into a soul stone. And then just like scuffs it down into the stage with her foot, with her boot. Just sort of like stomps it in there.
Yep.
And then makes this like very over dramatic sort of
right. some good chuckle and laughter, and I wouldn't be surprised if all throughout this place there's all sorts of other little things that are touched.
Yeah.
If you go looking, you'll probably find stuff, but it's that unspoken rule of, listen, somebody shoves it in there, don't go looking. Yeah. If you find something, just put it back where it was. Somebody left that there for some reason, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's quite a few soul stones.
Mm-hmm. So continue on, not as we were, but as you imagine us to be. And if you have need of me, I have a feeling I'll know.
There's, some nodding, and then, the clapping of like, okay, yeah, this is, something new. Yeah, I think that's something, the shout of something new, something better, no more Seers. And, because it's Tempestar and they get rowdy and they start shouting at each other and, these ideas. And already there's some arguments about what that new future is going to be. It's like, what with this? We want to put in a swimming pool. It's like, guys, that's me being over dramatic, but right, the conversation of what to do next, and because there's a contingent of folks who, we have this huge tempest and it currently just sits in the Gulf and just dumps water into the Gulf, doesn't do anything. It's like, but we could take this places, we could take this to deserts, right? We could change the face of weather, for good, intentions. But it's like, yeah, but at the same time, that's going to wreck other things. Oh yeah, pour a bunch of water in the desert. Cool, great. It's not soil. You're not going to grow grass suddenly out of the Sahara. Yeah, depending on where the grass seed.
How the tempest works, though.
That's true. That's very true. The tempest could absolutely do that. Yeah. That's true. So,
anyways, but yeah, she doesn't want to direct any further than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because she does like when she was talking with Abigail, she genuine like, I've only been a Tempestari this long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's not the leadership vibe. Right. She'll step up, but she doesn't have the veterancy. She doesn't have. Right. Does she have the last attainment?
Nope.
Yep. Yeah, so there's definitely, I would imagine that Nelita, has like veterancy over you. But as you kind of step away, and Nelita, comes up alongside, and like you have that, she has made herself your lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got a big dumb grin on her face. She's like, that was good, and you kept it short, so thank you.
Petrichor does finish off with a, now somebody get me a fucking drink.
Right. Yeah. And you can also, you have the sense, and you probably overheard Nelita like letting folks know, hey guys, we're not calling in the cavalry. But however, there are, some folks leading this direction or that direction. So if, some ants get their wings clipped in flight, if anybody's down here, off of Florida, you can just, drop a couple bugs into the water. I don't think anybody's going to notice. But yeah, she walks with you and she says, so this is done, and now a great big machine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Nobody said being friends with a Archmaster was, going to be easy. We are friends, right?
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, I'll buy you a drink.
Fucking her handshake.
Right. I think she gathers you with any others and returns back to the warehouse, back to Boston to go get a drink, unless you've got something to do.
No. She wants a drink here.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's got to have a flask.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I was thinking of like more of a, lots of beer, but that's true. We don't even have stuff. We don't have canned kegs, but yeah. And yeah, just that quick, there are, yeah, that's true. Somebody has access to a warehouse somewhere with booze. And so, yeah, drinks begin to be poured.
And she wants people like celebrating so that she can step away, right?
Right. Yeah. I also realize there's going to be people who have cups that literally scoop Tempest up out and just drink it. It's like, is it alcoholic? No. Does it give you a buzz? Absolutely. It's just like, what is this? Man, just drink. Don't ask questions. Don't think about it. Don't put mage sight on it. Just trust the process. You think
the worse it's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, she just I think walks with Nalita over like to the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And just like looks down at the Tempest itself.
Mm-hmm.
Which like we talked about it being like a big beast and whatnot, but I almost imagine it as like the head of a turtle.
Sure.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
With the clouds kind of being its shell, but like the head could be sort of anywhere on the inside.
Yeah, I did
that. And so she kind of looks down and like toasts Nalita and then drops off on the side to go like say hello.
Gotcha. Not down enough into the emanation realm, but down to the
literally to the spirit.
Yeah. And I imagine that is like the frequent visit, and then there's this level beneath that, like, don't do that. Like with the clouds up top here are nice and white, and there's the spirit that pops up. And then it gets down there into like the storm cloud. Don't go down there, because then you just end up somewhere else. You end up in the lasagna.
Yep. I kind of picture it as the bottom of the eye is the break point.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, like if you fall all the way through, you don't come out the other end.
It's a doorway, right?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
You look at it from a different sort of angle.
Yep. Yeah, just 90 degrees.
It only works one way.
Yep.
It only works from the top.
Yep. So you get the amateur guys with like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fly up. Oh, I didn't get enough. I'm coming back down. And then he's gone. It's like, man, he was a good apprentice. Damn it. Yeah. And yeah, have a wonderful conversation. Do you have any particular conversation to have with it, or?
No, I think it's just
have good conversation, especially
any conversation at all. I think it's just feeling and just like a fucking headbutt.
Noggin.
Yeah. Fair.
Yep. As soon as you said it, I was like, yep, noggin.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we do not talk, because otherwise I will be forced to do that voice.
Crush the turtle.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm gonna have to post that like no context episode such and such. But yeah, good conversation. I also like the idea because it's a huge head of like, yeah, there's the noggin thing, but there's just the like sitting on that, the broad head and just conversing. And now I dig the soulstone idea, but there's also, especially if you're wanting to have
Yeah, I didn't remember what I needed to do to make an iris, but that was my intention.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because the soulstone being there would also allow you to reform your body here.
Right.
But yeah, the iris is literally any place that you have a strong connection to. I have it saved right here. A known or better sympathetic connection, and then return to the road. And then you get 20 successes on an extended presence plus gnosis roll with a dice penalty according to sympathy, blah, blah, blah. So, but literally with no negatives. So
Presence plus what?
presence plus gnosis with a dice penalty according to the degree of sympathy. So no.
I'm connected.
Yeah. Because known was medium back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're well
if
above
I'm forming
that.
it around my soulstone.
Yeah,
then
but you,
it's-
the because it's designed as the area and how connected you are to the area. But that's it. I mean, it's the
That'd be a
Tempest,
strong then, right?
huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I created it.
Yeah, like yeah. I mean, yeah. It's strong, so it's a -1.
Okay.
Because the big question is just, can you do it?
Because start.
Oh yeah, because you have 8 rolls to do 2 and 14 and 2. $16, math fail. 17.
Chess rolls.
18, 19. There we go. Yeah. Now here's my question. Where are you putting that iris? Like there on that amphitheater, or down here next to the beast's head?
Can it be his eye?
I like that. The reason I ask is initially, without doing more spells, it is effectively a astral synesy. So their body hangs out here while they're astral projected to the golden road. So you will have a body laying against his eye or something like that, because the visitors don't get to take their body with them. So I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna put it right here. You have to sit on his head. And now you can come visit me.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm thinking it's quite a large head. You can probably have a couple visitors, but it's still enough of like, yeah, just you can come visit. Just, don't stay too long, because, you might go back and your body has fallen through the eye and now you're in the emanation realm when you pop back out.
Having fallen for undetermined amount of lasagna.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. Do you tell anyone?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it does mean a very convenient thing for you. And if other people find out about it, okay.
Yeah.
And like anybody who's got space, like Melita is going to find it eventually because it is an iris. But yeah, initially you're safe. I like it. Oh, you know what? I have notes that I have not been keeping up with. All right. Created. Very good.
Yeah, I like the idea that she like wink wink nudge nudge puts her soulstone there, but also like she'll just appear.
Yep.
Not there.
Yep. And also, like, for all this stuff, at this point, everyone's like, oh yeah, she doesn't have space magic. Like, Delita had to do all the teleporting. And When did you fly in? Yeah, you just weren't looking.
Got here.
Yep. Or and also just got here, always zooming up from within the eye. Good stuff. Cool. With that said, I think while you are down there, you do get a telepathic message. And this time it's familiar, but this time it's Nalita's voice, not yours. And it's, hey, Seer's not particularly welcome. If you need to come and visit the Tempest, you can come and visit, touch down, and leave. Do your business and leave. If you come to speak with us, come speak with us, then leave. You're no longer to, set up residence here. You don't get to live here. You're not banned, except for the people who can't set foot on the Tempest anymore. But this is not your home. You can continue to be Tempestari, but this is not your home. And she sends that out across the sympathetic connections and stuff like that. Because again, and that's why, like, for instance, the Lamia didn't get it, is like, you have a connection, but she only put in so much potency, and that if you have shields up or anything like that, you don't get the message. Of course, the Lamia is getting that message as she's flying off, licking her wounds.
Tail between her legs, basically.
Yeah, that's the term I wanted. Very good. Which also prompts an immediate message from Abigail, going, "Thank you." Cool. I think that might be a good.
I was just gonna say, if she blinks out at the Tempest, and then reforms as quickly as possible. I don't know if it takes any time.
None.
Metaphysically.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
And reforms in her sanctum.
Yep. And
then goes home.
We're home. Still gonna have to make your run out to go find some anchors, but at least you're able to come back and like hug the kids, kiss the husband,
leave messages.
Yeah. Fun.
Oh, was there a message waiting for me, maybe?
Yeah, sort of. Let me look over here. Okay, right. So no specific message. But yeah, lots of weird magical effects on the dogs around town.
Yeah,
sure, it's fine. You'll have to talk to Ligma about that later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her poker face when people were talking about the dogs in the meeting with the diamond, it was just like, yeah.
And I'm just now realizing the folks on YouTube don't know what I'm talking about either.
Oh.
Because that happens later.
I see.
So YouTube guys, every now and then, like, they usually know stuff we don't know. But in this particular case, I know something they don't know.
That's wild.
The time thing and the way that I'm recording this, I have found to be quite amusing and a little bit of a headache, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I almost said stuff, and I was
like, it's just going to be like A, B, 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 right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pull the curtain aside.
Yep. It's fun. Hence, I have to have these notes. So yeah, I'm trying to keep up with the time stuff. So yes, yeah, some weird shenanigans. Definitely like, I'm gonna have to ask somebody about that, but everything seems fine. And yeah, Jules is doing well. Everybody's happy to see you. Again, it's only a week, and for anybody else, that's a really short, disappearance. Not really disappearance. You let Jules know, but for y'all, teleport and come back and fly and stuff like that. This is a while. So yes, a little time sleeping in your own bed instead of back there. Also wearing your clothes instead of no, I guess you would have shown up wearing your cowboy outfit. Yeah, so yeah, no showing up and the girls going, why is mom wearing a dress? So I guess
she still does occasionally.
Right, yeah, I was just saying, yeah, probably. Actually, that's true.
The church,
yeah, church, and then I was thinking like the kind of classic, like the sun has set, right, and like the getting out of work clothes kind of thing, and
changes for dinner.
Yep, yeah. Wash up for dinner. Yeah. It's very wholesome. You guys have dinner together. You have nice conversation of just like nothing magical. Is like no. Tell you about it later, Jules. But right now, what'd you guys learn in school? I ate a frog. What? I don't know what kids do at that age. It's been a minute.
Could be eating a frog. You never know.
That's true. You do actually have the lake. Well, the lake, the river. Yeah. While you were gone, there's a lake now. Actually, legitimately, it hasn't been rainy the past couple days. Like, it's probably a little cloudy, but like, the sun really came out this week. Yeah, my bad. Like, and I don't imagine that it's like the London overcast all the time, but it's just like, oh yeah, you'll have, a day of, sunshine and then cloud cover and spotted clouds.
I mean, we've said it's perfect amount for the crops and stuff.
Yeah. It's just,
which is not an everyday thing.
Right. And you never have we haven't had rain in a minute, or it's kind of dry out. It's just like, no, we always have rain, like whenever we need it, kind of vibe. So good stuff. Yeah. I was trying to think if there's any other little Purgatory Bluff stuff, but unfortunately, I don't know.
You don't know. Spoilers. There's 2 sets that haven't done this yet.
Yep. So good stuff. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Josie, of course, thank you. We will head into the shadow and hunt down us an anchor or 2. Take a look at it, see what we can do with it, and report back to the gang. So we
can't kick the tires on this thing.
Yep. Because legitimately, that's going to be we light this fuse and it's time to go. So that's going to be fun. We get to go blow up pan-dimensional. Nope, I can't even say that stuff because that would be spoilers for YouTube. Dang, I guess you guys will just have to, catch the next episode. Of course, swing by Discord, www.yeetinto.space, and let us know what you think of this timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly shenanigans, because it's been fun to record and edit. Ever slightly nervous because I can't delete anything because nothing has been edited yet. I take that back. Nothing has been rendered yet. So yeah. And of course, if you want, you can support us monetarily, www.patreon.com/Occultists Anonymous. But nobody does that. I got halfway through that. I was like, that's not right. No, staylucky.club. Yeah. I was like, nobody does that.
It to my ears too. I was like, what is he talking about?
Where are we going? Yeah, come by Discord, chat with us, hang out. It's good stuff. Tell us about your wacky shenanigans. Tell us about your major game. Tell us about your Star Trek game. Tell us about your Girls by Moonlight game. Oh wait, no, those are all our games, but you can tell us about yours too. Until next time.